Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am really excited to guide you through today's story because we aren't just looking at cold facts today. We're stepping right into a deeply profound cultural and spiritual experience. Today, we're exploring a sacred journey, a family's Hajj. As we go through this, we'll unpack the logistics, the raw emotion, and just the beautiful shared devotion of one family's literal trip of a lifetime. To kind of set the stage here, I want you to imagine being thousands of feet in the air. You're on a plane, soaring way above the clouds, and this little boy named Ali, looking out the window with just absolute innocence, turns and asks, "Mama, are we going to Allah's house?" That pure, touching little question, it perfectly captures the wonder of what we are looking at today. Because, this isn't just your standard vacation. It's a deeply spiritual calling. So how does a family even begin to prep for a journey of this magnitude? Section 1. The Call to Hajj, a Blessed Morning. Okay, let's dive right into this. Every monumental journey starts with that single spark plug moment of realization, right? For this family, it was a perfectly serene morning. The sun's first rays had just hit the house when, bam, a wave of pure joy sweeps through the rooms. The dad is sitting at his laptop, face absolutely glowing, and he shouts the news. Their Hajj visa was approved. And man, the reaction was immediate. The grandmother instantly fell to the ground in a prostration of just immense gratitude, while tears of pure joy were streaming down the mom's face. And that kicked off this timeline that beautifully contrasts the boring, mundane logistics with profound spiritual community building. First came the endless passport office queues. We've all been there, right? While the adults were stressing over the paperwork, the mischievous kids, Ali and Zoya, were busy making goofy faces and rolling their eyes at the cameras. But once that official visa approval landed, the whole vibe shifted into an incredible celebration. The family hosted a Quran Kawani, which is a gathering to read the Quran with relatives, and they distributed these massive dogs, basically giant cauldrons of rice, out in the street. Every single moment, even the waiting, transformed into an act of worship. Section 2. Packing and Preparation. Care and Anticipation. Now, packing for an international trip usually means just, tossing some clothes into a suitcase at the last minute. But for Hajj, it's this beautiful display of generational care. Consider their packing list for a second. The mom carefully wrapped up her homemade achar, her pickle, bringing along a comforting taste of home. The grandmother practically packed salt and surf, laundry detergent, just to make sure no everyday annoyances would disrupt their spiritual focus. But here's the best part. Look at what the kids contributed. The older sister, Hania, packed soft slippers for her mom, explicitly saying she was worried about her mom's feet in that blistering heat. And little Zoya thoughtfully packed these mini rechargeable fans specifically for her grandmother's comfort. It's just a gorgeous picture of a family anticipating the physical toll of the journey and wrapping each other in love. So the crucial point here is that despite all this careful packing, anxiety is completely natural. The mom actually started worrying out loud, asking the dad, "Will this even be possible? There's going to be such a huge rush, so many crowds." And I mean, fair enough, it is an incredibly intimidating prospect to face millions of people. But the grandfather stepped in with this gentle, grounding wisdom. He just told her, "He who calls will make the path easy." It's a profound reminder of the faith driving this whole trip. If they were invited by God to this sacred place, they'd be cared for. And actually, that thought immediately soothed her fears. Section 3. The journey begins, emotional farewells. With hearts full and bags packed, the departure at the airport definitely wasn't a quiet little goodbye. They were surrounded by this sea of relatives draped in beautiful flower garlands. The air was just thick with emotional farewells. "I'll miss you so much. Take care of yourself." And the family's hopeful promise, "We'll be back soon." You could literally feel the electric anticipation as they finally stepped onto the plane. And once they were settled, remember little Ali's innocent question, "Mama, are we going to Allah's house?" His mom gently replied, "Yes, son, inshallah." Right after that beautifully innocent exchange, the entire family joined together to recite the Talbiyah. For those who don't know, that's the sacred prayer and declaration of presence recited loudly by pilgrims en route to Mecca. They raised their voices in complete unison right there on the airplane. It's this incredibly powerful, unifying moment of stating, "Here I am at your service." Section 4. The Secret Rituals, Heart of the Journey. When the family finally arrived in Mecca, the bustling, chaotic energy of travel just completely faded away. At their very first sight of the Kaaba, this profound silence washed over them. No one spoke. The awe was just overwhelming. The only word that naturally escaped their lips in that immense moment was Subhanallah, glory be to God. From there, they embarked on what's basically a grueling, magnificent marathon of faith. Upon arrival, they performed the tawaf, circling the Kaaba, followed by the brisk, physically exhausting walk between the hills of Safa and Marwa. The next day took them to the sprawling, iconic white tent city of Mina. Then came the absolute emotional peak in the afternoon at the plains of Arafat, standing there with raised hands, weeping and pleading in prayer. Finally, they spent the night completely exposed under the open sky at Muzdalifa. Throughout this marathon, there's this stark, almost unbelievable contrast between the physical environment and the internal experience. On one hand, you have intense, sweltering heat and massive, overwhelming crowds. But on the other, there's this profound, inexplicable peace. For instance, after the sheer exhaustion of Safa and Marwa, drinking that ice-cold Zamzam water brought an incredible sense of internal relief. And hey, remember those mini fans little Zoya packed? In the blistering heat of the tents in Mina, the children sat right by their grandmother, using those exact fans to keep her cool. It's love actively shielding against the harsh elements. I absolutely love this next detail from our source. During their night under the open sky at Muzdalifa, pilgrims have to collect small stones for a ritual the following day. It's a very serious, ancient part of the Hajj. But for the kids, it became this fascinating treasure hunt. Zoil searching diligently in the dark and suddenly exclaimed with just pure joy, "I found the most round pebble!" It's such a lighthearted, deeply human moment that brings so much warmth to what can otherwise seem like a really intimidating and austere ritual.
Section 5. A changed family. Permanent transformation.
So the intense physical journey comes to an end, but the internal transformation, that is permanent. This wasn't just a trip they took together. It was a crucible of faith, patience, and mutual care that reshaped their bonds from the ground up. This was a story of devotion, love, and worship that changed them forever. Alhamdulillah, praise be to God. I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative thought to reflect on. In our modern, super fast-paced world, we rarely get the chance to strip away all our comforts and rely solely on our faith and, honestly, on each other. How might a structured, shared experience of profound devotion transform not just you as an individual, but the entire dynamic of your family? Does it make you want to learn more about the deep, unifying power of these beautiful cultural and spiritual traditions? I sincerely hope it does. Keep seeking out the stories that connect us, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.